I met Lily when I was 25, working at a marketing agency fresh out of college. She was magnetic, sharp-witted, with a laugh that could cut through a room full of noise. We met at a client's product launch and hit it off fast. I played bass in a weekend band, and she said she'd always wanted to learn guitar. She didn't wait around. By the second week we knew each other, she'd already bought a second-hand acoustic and found a private teacher. She was like that, decisive, impulsive, and almost always chasing something new. We got married 3 years later, once I was stable enough to feel like I could give her the life she deserved. She worked as a designer from home, and I moved up in my agency job. Things felt solid. Comfortable. Maybe too comfortable. After our 6th anniversary, I started noticing little changes. She'd always been the spontaneous one, the one to drag me out for late-night drives or art shows on a whim. But now she was quieter. Distracted. Always checking her phone during dinner or disappearing into her studio for hours under the pretense of working. When I asked her what was up, she brushed it off with a smile. "I'm just trying to learn this new song," she said one evening, her guitar propped beside her like a third party in our relationship. "James says I'm getting better at bar chords." James. That was the first time she mentioned her teacher's name. I didn't think anything of it at first. She had lessons every Tuesday and Friday afternoon. He came to the house. She insisted it was more convenient. I was usually at work, and by the time I got home, the session was long over. But slowly, things started to not quite add up. One Friday I came home early and heard music from the bedroom, not her usual spot to practice. I opened the door and saw them. Nothing outrageous, but enough. She was sitting cross-legged on the bed, the guitar in her lap, and he was beside her, too close. His hand was on hers, guiding her fingers on the frets, but their eyes weren't on the guitar. They were on each other. Lily jumped like I'd caught her mid-crime. James stood up fast, all polite smiles and awkward nods. "Hey, man, I didn't realize you were home," he said, as if I was the intruder. I forced a smile, nodded, and left the room. I didn't say anything that night. I wanted to believe what I saw wasn't what it looked like. Maybe I was being paranoid. But that seed of doubt had already taken root. Over the next few weeks, things grew more strained. Lily was more distant than ever. She began dressing up on lesson days, putting on lipstick she never wore for me anymore. She laughed more with James than I'd seen her laugh with me in months. One afternoon, I left work early again, this time, intentionally. I parked a block away and walked the rest of the way home. My heart was pounding, and I hated the person I was becoming. A man who needed to catch his wife doing something wrong just to get a straight answer. I stood outside our bedroom window, the curtains just slightly parted. I shouldn't have looked. I know that now. But I did. James was behind her, his hands wrapped around her waist as she strummed. She laughed, really laughed, and tilted her head back. Then he kissed her. Soft, casual, like it was the most natural thing in the world. And she didn't pull away. She leaned into it. I didn't go inside. I walked back to my car and sat there, feeling like I'd been hollowed out. My whole world shrunk to the image of that kiss. The woman I married, the life we built, it all felt like someone else's memory. And yet, I said nothing. Not that night. Not the next. I needed to understand why. And part of me, God help me, still hoped there was a way back. The silence between us became a language of its own. For weeks after what I saw, I went through the motions: work, sleep, the occasional nod at dinner, forced smiles when necessary. Lily must have sensed the shift, but she didn't ask. Maybe she thought I didn't know. Or maybe she was hoping I'd never say it out loud, that we could quietly let it die without the final blow of acknowledgement. But denial has a shelf life. It was a Wednesday evening when I finally cracked. She came in late, smelling like lavender and something more expensive, not like her usual scent. She hummed her coat and wandered into the kitchen, humming. And that's what did it. The humming. Casual. Content. Like she hadn't torched the foundation of our lives. Was it worth it? I asked from the hallway. She froze mid-step, back still to me. What? You heard me. My voice was calm. Too calm. Was he worth it? Silence. Then slowly, she turned. Her face crumpled, not in surprise, but in guilt. Confirmation, wordless and heavy. I didn't plan for this, she whispered. You never do. That's the thing about affairs. They're accidents you keep choosing. She sank into a chair. It started with music. It always felt like something you tolerated in me, like it was just another one of my little hobbies. James, he listened. He made me feel seen. I felt something deep inside me snap. You know who else saw you, Lily? Me. Every day. Every night. I saw you when you lost your mom. I saw you when you got that design contract and thought you weren't good enough. I saw you in sweatpants and in ball gowns. I chose to see you when life got ordinary. That's what marriage is. I know, she said, tears welling now. And I'm sorry. But I felt like I was fading, like I was becoming invisible. He made me feel like I still had color. Yeah? Well, you painted us both into a corner. I walked away before I could say something unforgivable. That night, I slept in the guest room, the same room we once turned into her first studio. The strings of her acoustic still hung on the wall. Mocking. Silent. The next few days were a blur. She ended the lessons. Swore she stopped seeing him. Said she wanted to work on us. Therapy, honesty, rebuilding. And for a moment, I almost considered it. But some songs can't be unplayed. The thing about Betrayal is, it rewrites history. I started questioning every moment, every I love you, every touch. Was it real? Or was she already tuning up someone else's affection behind closed doors? We lasted another month in limbo. Therapy once. Lots of half conversations. Then one night, she handed me an envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter and a set of keys. I'm moving out for now, she said. I need to understand what I want, and I think you need peace, even if it's without me. I didn't say anything. I just nodded. She kissed my cheek before she left, and for the first time in weeks, I let her. The house was quiet after that. Not peaceful, but hollow. Months passed. I picked up my bass again. Started going to open mics. Somewhere between pain and rhythm, I found my footing. People say healing isn't linear, and they're right, it came in bursts and setbacks. But it did come. Last I heard, Lily was living in a studio apartment downtown. She teaches guitar now. I never asked if James is still in the picture. I don't need to know. Some endings don't deserve epilogues. And me? I've learned to enjoy the silence. I've learned that sometimes, the hardest part isn't losing someone, it's finding yourself in the debris they left behind. But I'm here. I'm still playing. And for the first time in a long while, the music feels like mine.